You're.
Try not to laugh challenge.
Was that it? Was that your intro?
That was it. Hi, hello.
Yeet.
Some of us are back. Your boys are here. All three of us are here.
The gang is all here.
Tyler explained that we fucked up.
You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up.
Me and Yusuf recorded a wonderful pod. It was
did you?
It was a wonderful edition for all that we had talked about. I actually was like very sprightly. It was 11 a.m. It was nice.
I heard that y'all talked mad shit. That's what I heard.
We did talk some shit. I'll be honest, I did not hear your rebuttal, but because you didn't listen to ours, I didn't listen to yours.
I mean, I couldn't hear half of it, so.
That's fair.
I know what you think of my shit takes.
all three of us are here this week. Emil is here today. I'm feeling like hosting, so I'm taking over the Tyler role. Tyler is going to.
We'll see how this fucking goes.
Interject every time I get something wrong, which
I'm
is
CM Punk.
Which is fine.
That's all.
And I'm here.
I'm better at hosting. I'm better at being a guest, even at commentary.
What about as a referee?
What about as a referee? I feel like Tyler would be a shit referee.
What do you mean I would be a shit referee?
Tyler would follow the rules. He would do a 10 count. Like
Yeah.
It depends on who's wrestling.
Tyler would do a 10 count in a main event.
It depends on who's.
At wrestling.
He would.
Tyler would have done a 10 count for the WrestleMania 40 main event, and it would have been like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What is this from? What is this coming from?
He throws the double
there was a
count
ref
out,
spot
and
in
everyone
that
just
match,
boos
right?
him out of the building. Yeah.
Was there a ref spot in that match?
Y'all trying to say I'd be
there
like.
must have been. It's a Roman match. There had to have been a ref spot.
All I know is I will not be like the referee from the world title match at Money in the Bank. I will not be that bad.
That was.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so Tyler graciously helped us out with some Raw talk.
That's right.
Today is Sunday as we record this, July 29th.
28th. Because
28th.
why, Emil?
What do you mean, because why?
Because on Sundays we talk wrestling.
Duh.
Because everyone loves the Acclaimed. Oh, is that not the bit we were going for? Never mind.
So speaking of the Acclaimed, I also just wanted to hijack this because I spent a half hour in my car on the way to DC, and I talked to AEW. And it was actually kind of good, and then I got a phone call.
Damn.
So it derailed my entire voice note, which I was going to upload.
Do not disturb is a powerful tool.
I
It
was
really
on Do
is.
Not Disturb.
Oh.
Damn.
But
that means it was important.
To detour, because this is a WWE podcast, right? But because
Primarily.
I'm taking the reins, so we're actually starting with a couple of things that I just want to bring up about AEW. Has anyone watched AEW in the last 2 weeks besides me?
No.
Well, then sit your dumb ass down. So.
Oh, this man's lounging now. Okay.
Wait. But you might actually want to have a take on this.
He might.
How,
We'll see.
How did we feel about the MJF and Will Ospreay bout?
The
went an hour.
1 hour fiasco that was MJF and Will Ospreay. I mean, the thing is, like, we did kind of touch on this on the pod that doesn't exist, while Fucko over here is doing his thing. Hey, it's a copy of Dune that he bought at a Canadian bookstore. Shout out Indigo. Anyway, the thing with the MJF Ospreay match, as to why they had Will drop it, I don't understand, because I feel like they've been trying to have All In be like this big deal for William, considering it's in the UK and, you know, all that. For the match to have gone an hour, it didn't need to. It really didn't need to. And like, again, on the pod that did not exist, Emil and I had gone into this whole thing about like star ratings and whatnot with the Meltzer thing, and one thing that really bothered us was that match got, I think it was like 5.25 stars or something on Dave's dumb star rating, which, cool, Will's got, that's his 33rd 5-star match. You know how insane that is? Like, personal accolade aside, that's awesome, but like, what was the point of having it go an hour? Like, that's just
The point was,
that's my statement.
as someone who didn't watch it and is completely not clouded by what happened in the match, the reason it went that long is specifically because they wanted to just pop the rating. The whole story and part of it leading up to it was MJF going like, it's so stupid because leading up, MJF is like, Ospreay's going for Meltzer ratings. I don't give a shit about that. I go for Nielsen ratings. What's the next match that MJF does? Pulls a fucking 5-star plus from Meltzer. Bullshit, you only care about Nielsen, bruh. You just wanted a match with Will so you could get a 5-star yourself.
I think the only thing I have to say other than with the rating stuff, my lamp is acting up. Anyway, there's a spot, well, not spot, but there's a moment at the very end of that match. Will loses the title, and MJF is like basically unconscious on the mat, gets the belt, and he's like, "Did I win? What the fuck? Okay." And there was a picture that was posted after, I believe, on Twitter of MJF with the oxygen mask, and this was brought up in our group chat why the oxygen mask feels so extra and everything like that. And my point was, when MJF had wrestled Bryan Danielson last year, when he was defending the AEW World Championship against Danielson in their Iron Man match, when that match hit the hour mark, they were tied up at, I think it was like 1-1, right? And so they have a couple minutes of like a rest period, and then they were going to start like the overtime thing, how it's been in Iron Man matches in the past. Bryan Danielson is running laps around the ring and doing like jumping jacks and shit like that. And he's like, I could do this all day. This is nothing. He's like, I'm not even that tired. And MJF is just beaten up. He has to get an oxygen mask, just breathing through that for a few minutes, trying to catch his breath, because as great of a talker MJF is, when it comes to wrestling, he is very good at wrestling his style of matches, but he's not great at the whole, marathon 5-star plus classic kind of matches that Danielson and Ospreay and Omega, Okada, those guys are used to doing, like the 45-minute plus just bombastic marathons, right? So I like the touch of the oxygen mask that was shown, like, off and on social media after the fact. And it kind of shows, okay, yeah, this is MJF proving once again that he can do an hour-long match. I'm going to be honest, though. Did you need to do it on Dynamite? Thank you.
So let's barrel roll this story a little bit. The next week, MJF comes out talking about not breaking a sweat during the match, which is just funny. I love it. Long story less long, he starts rattling off some American things. He starts talking about how no one cares about these international people winning these titles. No one cares. And that he brought the title back home to the great God's country, Long Island, New York, which is just hilarious in every sense of the imagination. And changing the international title into the American title, which I think opens up speculation for, is it the name of the title? Is it a new title? Is it a different lineage? Hold on, Yusuf. I see your eyes over there. Hold on. Because the overarching theory is that there is a possibility that we down the line do the rematch, where the international title comes back, because he threw the international title in a trash can that only pro wrestling has, and brought out the American belt with the American flag strap and the United States on the front plate instead of whatever it was before, maybe a globe. And
it's basically just an Americanized version.
Exactly, it's the Americanized version of it. MJF is very good at bringing in his kind of own belts for his gimmick. It works for MJF. And the story, some people think the story is to bring both belts back because everybody wants to have a belt, and then we just combine the two to follow the same lineage when Will Ospreay probably eventually wins. I think it's super interesting. I think I brought this up last time. I think it's a super interesting point that Will Ospreay is taking 2 massive losses, so we're not going to get too big into that. Obviously, my opinion on star ratings is always, well, if Shawn and Taker at 25 doesn't get a 5-star, we're not having this conversation. That's just how it's going to be. But Tyler also brings up a really good point about this being on a Dynamite, or Yusuf, sorry, bringing this up on a Dynamite. And that kind of also barrel rolls into the other big match that happened in the last 2 weeks. AEW's had a big 2 weeks, 250 and Blood and Guts going right back right back to back. These felt like pay-per-view episodes. Like these were massive episodes that were on free television. Good, bad, indifferent?
I think good, considering they're trying to get as much momentum as they can. This motherfucker,
The commitment
Tyler,
to the bit is impressive.
he really is, eh?
He hates AEW.
He really does. I think the thing is right now is all their momentum is leading towards All In, right? Like that's their focus, and having pay-per-view level TV, I think, is going to help them really get the ball moving, especially Blood and Guts. It helped set up a lot of things, both feud-wise and just hype-wise for All In. I did want to say one thing, though, in regards to the title. I find it genuinely hilarious that MJF is doing all this with the belt, which is in exact parallel to what Will Ospreay did when he won the IWGP US heavyweight title. He turned it into the UK heavyweight title, started defending it on other promotions, and changed the look of the belt entirely until they had to basically get rid of the belt and make a new belt, which is now the global title. And MJF's doing the same thing right now. Wins an international title, ironically enough from Will Ospreay, rebrands it to the American title, or whatever it's called, the All-American, whatever it might be, changes the design of it, and it was actually announced, I believe, earlier today. Yes, just about a few hours ago. MJF's going to be defending that title on Rev Pro Wrestling in the UK.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's exactly a parallel to what Ospreay did, but
Well,
yeah,
AEW loves their indie references. Of
They
course,
do.
Which,
They really do.
But this is, I think, one of the times where it makes sense. I think those who know, and that's really cute that they get that moment for them, while at the same time, like somebody like me who maybe didn't know that story, I can still enjoy what's going on now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Which is again AEW's kind of rebrand. But pay-per-view level matches are nice. I think what the problem is we're not always doing pay-per-view level storytelling to get to these matches, which is the problem that can come up with things like this, an hour-long 250 match for a title. Super fun in the moment on free TV. Like TV is plentiful, but not, and you need to sell the pay-per-views for a reason. If I can get it on free TV, why am I buying the pay-per-view? Same thing with Blood and Guts. Big gimmick match, a lot of blood, a lot of shit. Really great match. To kind of paraphrase some of the cool spots, I started at the AEW video that they uploaded, which was 30 minutes long. They gave you about half the match for the double free ski. On YouTube, and starting at about the handcuff spot where Swerve's handcuffed, and then they cut up the chain, the cell, which then opens up the ramp to some of the match as well. Darby Allin doing probably his safest spot with the monkey bar coffin drop. Always a good time. And of course the big story, of course, is Jack Perry taking the gimmicked headshot to chair shot to the head. Super controversial. Tyler doesn't like it. Tyler hates it.
No, I don't. I'm not saying I dislike it per se. Like,
no, you wouldn't be the only one, so you're allowed to say.
Yeah, you're allowed to.
Well, I mean, like,
I mean, like, no, like, yeah. I 100%, and like, I just think that it's a serious thing, and it makes me start to think, like, is Jack Perry the problem? Because, like, I don't mean to open this can of worms, but with the whole like CM Punk thing, listen, CM Punk did not handle himself correctly in the whole thing with workplace violence. We don't condone that. Whatever, right? He's changed. He's moved on. He seems, according to reports, he's been a star model employee with WWE. And that all happened because Jack Perry insisted on doing a spot that Punk said, nah, this is dangerous. You shouldn't do this. And Perry was like, I'm going to do it anyway. And at the time, I was like, fuck it. If Perry wants to do it, go for it. But that's different from a chair shot to the head. But once again, Perry is able to do the spot. But this time, there's nobody there, hypothetically, supposedly, maybe. I'm speculating, but there's no one there to really challenge him on this spot, and so the spot happens without a hitch, and I don't know, man. It's another one of those situations. AEW as a company just continues to be doing shit that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Between that, I hate to hold grudges, but that Matt Hardy spot way back when, a couple years ago, in that match when he fell like directly on his head and like continued this match, that was scary. That was questionable. And to real quick, just because it's been a minute since I've weighed in. For the record, I don't hate AEW. I just right now I only have so much time to dedicate, and WWE already puts out a lot of shit, and I try to prioritize as the person who is making a lot of the content for the channel right now. I mean, obviously the two of you guys also do a ton of content, but as the person who has done the majority of it, I try to focus on WWE first, so I don't really allow myself the time for AEW. That being said, even before this, I still didn't allow myself the time for AEW. I filled it with other shit. So, and it's just my choice. I don't know. It's just like I invest in the characters in WWE, not in AEW. But
well, the thing I don't know everything about AEW, so I can't invest in them.
No, that's
Sometimes
fair.
they don't give you the chance to invest in the character either.
Yeah.
So I hear that.
When you said the thing about the storytelling, though, that's 1,000% what I think. I think it's prioritizing more so popping the Marks and the Meltzers and the ratings, the wrestling ratings of the world, and not without any storyline reason for this to happen. You know, like we just had this random 5-star match out of nowhere. It's not like we built to it all that much. We had a couple of weeks of MJF saying, you know, I'm better than Will Ospreay. He worries about Meltzer ratings, and then he pops a 5-star plus match. And it's just like an hour long. The only good thing to have come out of that, in my opinion, because MJF didn't need that title. Will doesn't either, to be honest. But the one good thing, genuinely 100% good thing without any negatives attached to it that came out of it is the fucking meme of MJF with the mask on. And it's like me after giving your girl the best 40 seconds of her life or whatever that meme was. Fucking hilarious, dude. That shit is gold. Shit's so funny.
So AEW is cooking though. There is stuff there. I've started to really appreciate AEW in the last couple months. I've said it before. So I'm again attempting to tap in. The Mercedes story is boring. The Tony Storm story is great. That's all we need to talk about there. Yes.
I think so, unless y'all have any
Except they're
AEW
kind of
stuff
the same
to.
thing.
Mercedes
fine.
Moné is truly. I'd rather watch paint dry.
Yusuf, I'm so glad that you came around on this.
I'd rather watch. No, you know what?
You could watch her Mandalorian performance.
Hey, Mandalorian was.
You're telling me
fine.
that's different from watching paint dry?
No.
That was just Mercedes Moné in Star Wars.
There's more
Yeah.
colors.
There's more color. Yeah, there's a lot more
Actually,
colors.
there was a lot of gray.
Yeah.
That shit. Her
here's the thing,
performance in
here's
that
the
show sounded like
I
every other
will-
promo she's cut in her life.
Yeah,
Like it
pretty
didn't
much.
sound any special.
I will admit, I tried giving Mercedes Moné and AEW a chance. I really did. And at some point, it was very quick, but it just became so milquetoast boring that I was just like, why? What is going on? Like, this is just bland. This
Is that
is
a
just.
Canadian thing?
Yes, it is.
No, okay.
Like there's just nothing. There's no substance to what Mercedes. Like, okay, here's a good example. I find Solo Sikoa boring as shit. Right? There are reasons I find Solo boring as shit. He gives me reasons to make me think he's boring. I don't actually have a reason I think Mercedes Moné is boring, other than like she's not as good of a promo as people remember her being. And that's kind of it. Like, her in the ring is fine. Her as a promo is like, I'm the best. And you're like,
I've been saying this.
yeah,
I've been saying
and
this.
like I said, I tried giving it a chance, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here, man? I think what turned me around was her Forbidden Door match with Stephanie Vacker, where like Stephanie carried that match with Monet, and I don't know, it's interesting. Mercedes leaving the WWE and going to AEW, you start to see a lot of the for lack of a better word, and not trying to be mean, but you see a lot of the bad in her overall wrestling, like just workload, her work ethic. Like, her promos are not as good as we remember it being. Her in-ring even then, she was never like a technical fucking wizard in the WWE. But now it's just, she just comes out dressed in like all green or whatever it is, whatever color of the week she's rocking. And it's just the same promo over and over again. I'm the CEO. Look at all my rings. I
So
have a
dumb.
title. I have 2 titles. Like, for someone who based on hype and also past experience in professional wrestling, should have probably been in the main women's title scene when she showed up, and then she wasn't, and she was just like floating around for a little bit, and now she's a mid-card champ. It's kind of bad.
Meanwhile,
And-
Toni
and
Storm
this is
ready
the person,
to die.
and this is the person that was walked out of WWE and only would come back if she was paid more than every other woman in wrestling, period.
She
Not
wanted
just
more than
in the company. She wanted more than Charlotte. She wanted more than Becky. No, like,
Charlotte,
no.
who
like
no
Did
one.
AEW pay that money?
probably.
I think they might have, yeah.
Ooh.
Considering, okay, so the rumor, I don't know what the exact number is because these things obviously don't get released to the public, but Charlotte's
And
contract
inflated.
is supposed to be somewhere in the like double-digit millions or close to that. And Sasha wanted more.
No.
No offense, you're not
Pass.
worth that.
Also,
Yeah.
after walking out of the company, you expect them to pay you more than everybody else after
Yeah.
you walked out? Fuck that, dude.
The
Like, I'm sorry,
problem-
that's
to
shit
not
attitude.
problem-
is
To
what
not
it is.
do anything either. It's not like
Yeah.
It's not like Cody is definitely a top 5.
It's like Cody,
Contract?
Roman, Punk, Rollins, and a few other people, and maybe
Those
Randy
are like,
that
those
make
are
the
like
most.
a top. Those are
Yeah.
probably the top 5 contracts, right? And
Yeah.
on the male side, so it's like
Probably.
Cody coming in. It's like Cody coming in and asks to get more than Reigns. Like
You're
dude.
not,
Like,
but no.
and Reigns is definitely paid more than Cody. That I think we can all acquiesce to that.
I
don't
think
that's
he's
a-
like the most paid right now at the
He
moment.
has to
yeah.
be. Yeah.
I'm
think
so like that's the same thing. Like
I think part of it is there's been this renaissance, and like we've all seen it obviously firsthand, of wrestlers leaving the WWE, going to the indies or going wherever else, making a good name for themselves there, and then coming back and their stock price increases significantly. See Drew McIntyre, see our literal current world champion Cody Rhodes, right? It doesn't necessarily work the same way if they jump ship to AEW, because this is the TNA thing all over again. Back in the day, when a WWE guy would get released from the company and they would jump ship to TNA and boost their stock there, but then they'd leave TNA and be like, oh, I want to come back to WWE, I deserve all this. Yeah, it doesn't really make a difference because you were on fucking TNA.
Nope.
Like,
I mean
you know?
I mean to call AEW TNA is a little bit insulting to AEW, but
it is. You're right. However,
at their
my
worst
point
use.
being,
Honestly, calling TNA TNA is insulting
Is
to
insulting.
TNA because TNA has been
Um,
cooking lately. To be fair,
they have been doing great. My point, though, with AEW is those that have left WWE and are succeeding or have been succeeding in the company with AEW, that is Moxley, Bryan Danielson. Who's another big one that's been doing pretty well recently? I can't even think anymore.
I mean, Claudio for one.
FTR, Claudio,
Claudio.
yeah. Like, they have reasons for their stock to go up because you get to see something of theirs that we never got to see in WWE because of just how, you know, how tight things were, how tight that ship was back then. So we can't do this, you can't do this, you gotta be like this, you gotta be like this. Mercedes Moné walking out of the company, going to Japan for a little bit and doing some stuff there and making like a random appearance in Stardom in here and whatnot, and then from there potentially almost going back to WWE but wanted way too much money, and then went to AEW, got her bag, and is not really doing much. I'm just gonna say that's a waste of money.
The long story less long of that is really just because you leave and come back, or you leave somewhere that you're a high profile does not mean you're over. And I mean, not everybody is Cody Rhodes, right? Not everybody gets that moment. Shit, Drew doesn't get that moment. that's the biggest example of somebody who maybe deserved that moment, who did it by himself. But the long story less long is, just because you're good in one place does not mean it transfers, and it doesn't. AEW has sometimes a really bad track record of exposing all of the bads that WWE is pretty good at hiding and emphasizing the positives. Speaking of emphasizing some bads, this SmackDown, as we move into WWE, sucked.
SmackDown has kind of been sucking, but it hasn't been. But because I mean, let's be real. Let's unpack this, right? WWE as a whole has stepped up dramatically in the past half decade, right? Think back to like 2019 to now, like even the worst SmackDown in this year in 2024 is better than the best SmackDown and maybe the best of any TV show period WWE put on in the entire year of 2019. But I think it's just like we've been so accustomed to just top tier quality television with high quality matches with good stories and everything means something, right? And then you have this SmackDown where, to be fair, it was carried by this tag team gauntlet match. That's basically what it was. But they main evented. They didn't choose that match to main event. They chose the tag match with Bayley and Michin against Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Like, the only way I can justify it is because, like we mentioned before the pod, before we hit record, SmackDown this week is a taped edition. It was taped back to back with last week's episode. So maybe just the pacing, maybe they had Bayley and Nia and whatever do something. They had stuff obviously in last week on SmackDown that was live. So now this week that it's pre-taped, they probably wanted to give him some time to breathe, so they put him at the end of it, So I guess, yeah. But it was ass. I mean, like, I made notes for this week, and I put, like, literally 2 points from SmackDown because I don't care to talk about anything else. And one of them is literally talking about what was set up for next week, because this week was just so... Yeah, it was bad.
So, what did happen, he's talking about this gauntlet match, is the Bloodline. This version of the team is Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, because I guess we really want to put a belt on him as quickly as humanly possible. Hold on, relax yourself. They beat the Street Profits, who are, I believe, somewhat newly heels. The OC, no, I was wrong. Okay, never mind. They're just fucking around. Okay, I saw the backstage segment with them and I think it was Pretty Deadly. They were being heels to each other.
Pretty Deadly are the heels for sure.
The interesting team of Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, which, on a side note, super sleepy, but Baron Corbin, always a pleasure to see Baron Corbin. And the God del Fantasma, yawn as well to that. Bloodline obviously wins. LOL. The prevailing theory, as we kind of combine things, they're going to go into next week and have a match with DIY, because we don't want to put anything on the SummerSlam kickoff show beforehand, or the pre-show, or whatever they're calling their hours before the show starts.
Oh, they actually stole from AEW. It's the countdown now.
Okay.
Because the kickoff is now like that huge event where Triple H comes out and goes, "Are you ready?" There you go. I just summed up every kickoff show for you.
Cool, good talk. And there are two options we can go here. The Bloodline kind of clobber DIY, which they've done, which I would be okay with. And then there's the other prevailing theory of Jimmy Uso, which is yawn, but fair.
Jimmy Uso about to come out and say, "No yeet."
But that also kind of just blows up the spot. I would prefer them to not do that. So, the tag titles. Let's go to Yusuf first.
Oh boy.
I'd call Tyler. I definitely just called you.
It's all good.
Well,
your boy's gonna get a belt. Be happy.
I know. I feel like it's too soon. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Thank you, Yusuf.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, no, like,
you'd be correct.
You're damn right I am. As ready as I am to see Jacob Fatu with a title, I think this is too soon. I think what happens is Jacob and Tama lose on Friday to DIY. However they lose, whatever. If Jimmy gets involved, sure. But I think what's going to happen is they're going to lose on Friday, and Solo is going to go, it's up to me to be the real title holder of the bloodline. And I'll defeat Cody Rhodes tomorrow night at SummerSlam. And Roman Reigns can't stop me. And then, Solo's going to lose. And then Roman's going to show up. And then Roman's going to kill everybody. They're not winning those tag titles next week.
Wins and losses matter?
I mean, like, here's the thing, right? We have 2 matches set for next. Yeah, first, no. Second, no. No, we have 2 matches set for next week. We have women's tag team titles as well. We have Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who haven't been seen in weeks, besides on the Titantron, taunting their challengers for SmackDown, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And then you have this tag team title match with DIY and the Bloodline. We're going to see at least one title change here, and it's not the WWE tag team titles. I think Bianca and Jade are going to win back the women's tag team titles. I don't want it, but I think it might happen. I feel like we're building a lot of heel teams right now. We're building, Shayna and Zoe and Sonya as a faction on Raw, where we have Damage Control. We have Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, from Metaphor and NXT, who are currently heel. We have a lot of heel teams right now, not a lot of face tag teams. We have KC2, Caden Carter, Katana Chance. That's about it. But nobody cares. The only team, and honestly, I feel like the women's division right now is pretty booked up for the foreseeable future. So I think that Bianca and Jade can continue their work as a tag team. I think we accomplished what we needed to, giving Fire and Dawn the hometown victory back at Clash of the Castle. Back to business as usual. We're putting the titles back on Bianca and Jade. I do think that Jimmy Uso is going to no-yeet Fatu and Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga was the dude that came in and basically beat the shit out of Jimmy Uso and took his spot in the Bloodline. So I think it's only fair now that Jimmy Uso comes back and costs Tama Tonga the match. Tonga eats the pin, so Fatu eats none of it. And then DIY retain. I don't see... Triple H loves DIY. I from that perspective, it would, and I know we know Triple H's booking. He would not have this title. I feel like he would not have this title title reign, only be less than a month. It's been 3 weeks, and you can't. I said it in the chat already, but you can't. We need 2 returns to make this Bloodline story happen, right? We need Jimmy Uso and we need Roman Reigns. You can't have Jimmy Uso return after Roman Reigns, because it's you've already had Roman Reigns come back. No one gives a shit about Jimmy Uso once Roman Reigns is back. So you have Jimmy come back on Friday and cost Bloodline, and then you have Roman come back after Cody beats Solo Sikoa, and he just does exactly what I said on the TikTok that actually did pretty well. He comes out, he stands at the ramp, and throws up the 1, and that's it. That's how SummerSlam closes.
What if we wait and hold Jimmy until we get both of the twins?
We have Jay.
We got one of them, yeah.
All we have is Jim. All we need is Jimmy to come back, be outnumbered by the Bloodline, and then Jay comes and evens the odds.
Also, you can't tell me that Jay and Sammy tagging up on Monday Night Raw this past week was nothing.
That was cute.
Yeah,
that's
now
foreshadowing.
So
that was cute moves.
I do think at the end of the day, the Bloodline are getting their hands on the WWE tag titles. It's just not right now, because I think they're going to have Bloodline winning the WWE tag titles. They're going to have Sammy and Jay take the world tag titles after Sammy drops the IC belt. Spoiler alert for later on, prediction-wise. And win the world tag titles on Raw with Jay. So then we'll have, Bloodline. It's kind of mirror images, right? You have both Bloodlines and you have both tag titles in there. So, plus Sammy and Jay deserved a tag title reign since Jay came over to Raw. It just made sense.
I would like to dig into the Jimmy Uso blowing up the spot point that I had. I think that kind of buries your lead a little bit. I guess me thinking as a booker, right? I look at that and I go, ooh, that's a That's a huge move to bring Jimmy right before Roman. And regardless of like how predictable Roman coming back is or not, we don't know, right? Like there is a level of we don't know. I think Jimmy coming in blows up the spot, right? I think that kind of exposes the moves a bit. I mean, not that it's bad necessarily, but I think there's a little bit of dilution that happens from that, pop wise, whatever wise. It's because it's like, oh well, there's Jimmy. All right, like we already kind of know where we're going, so to be so forward is a little annoying, maybe for me. Maybe that's just me.
No, that's valid. That's valid.
So I see really no problem bringing in Jimmy after the fact. I don't think that it certainly doesn't bury Roman Reigns. You're not hiding Roman Reigns' stardom behind Jimmy Uso. Like that's not what's going on.
I'm just saying it's more so like once Roman comes back, it's like that's what the fans want, right? So once Roman's back, the fans are kind of satisfied. So then Jimmy comes back, it's like, oh, okay, Jimmy's back, cool.
I mean, the fans want Roman, right? I mean, that's
right.
That is the goal. But the goal of Roman coming back is still how is he going to defeat this bloodline? What is the plan for how he builds up his team? How he gets his people back, right? Because he's been an asshole, and then he's been gone, and then he's been X, Y, and Z. And so now that they're all faces, Jimmy Uso is technically still not a face yet. But
that's how you get him faces if he comes back Friday. But this is your point of it if he doesn't come back Friday.
So now that they're all faces, but they do have to acknowledge when they were all heels, which is always great TV when tag teams split up as heels and come back together as faces. The Shield reunion is probably the biggest example of that when. With Dean Ambrose's mistrust of Seth Rollins before he ate Dean Ambrose and turned into Jon Moxley. So I do think that blows up the spot a little bit, but it's okay. The story is how Roman gets his family back together, his version of the bloodline back together, not the match against Solo. None of that matters. As far as those women's tag titles,
I just want them on Bianca and Jade because when Bianca and Jade had them, I actually cared about the women's tag division. And they actually put effort into the women's tag division. They were on every pay-per-view. They were on every PLE when they were champions.
My problem with the women's tag titles, and this is going to be the last point, then we can move on. For as long as Jade has been in the company, well, now, like obviously, on TV and at PLEs and whatnot, it's constantly been the will they, won't they, with the inevitable Bianca Jade feud. Will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? Oh, they're tag champs. Oh, they're gonna lose the belts, and it's gonna cause a rift between them, and it's gonna split them up, and then we get the feud. Oh, they're still together. Oh, okay, sure, all right, but now the chase back for the belts is gonna be what splits them up, and we're gonna get there. Oh, they're actually gonna go for the belts. Okay. And now they might actually win the belts again. I understand it's good for business because, like you said, they're on every PLE. Like this is the most I've seen the women's tag titles since they were created in a calendar year. Like, it's just how it is, right? But I'm getting a little frustrated with how long we're gonna have to wait for this inevitable Bianca Jade feud. Because if they're going to win those titles again Friday, which I think they will, how long do they hold it for? Do they set it up for something next year? Do they have Jade win the Rumble and that's what causes the rift? Like, who knows at this point? Are they going to pull a Michael Cena where one of them's world champ going into Mania next year and the others, and both of them are tag champs and they end up, I don't know. Regardless,
honestly, I think I would rather them do that than actually have them drop the belts to anybody. Like at this point, the only team right now that I'd be interested in is a combination of Bailey. Why did I say that? Baszler, Shayna Baszler, that is, Zoe Stark and Sonya Deville, because it seems like they're actually putting effort in building the three of them together as a stable, and also just the visual of the three of them together is pretty badass.
May I ask a question? I was about to say, didn't two of them take a loss on Monday?
Yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't owe me. The answer is yes.
I'm not.
I fell off.
I'm not as a way to deflect.
I think he was just eyeing to figure out, because I'll be honest, when that trio formed, cool. Since then,
And then a week happened and they lost.
Exactly.
Then another week happened and they still
Oh
lost.
no, and
then
actually
they're
no.
still
I'm
talking
sorry.
shit.
Zoe Stark I think lost, and Sonya won her match. But then I remember, because I complained, because I was like, you just had Zoe Stark go in the women's Money in the Bank match, and everyone was like, oh, like, why is Zoe Stark in this match? Like, and they spent this whole time building up Zoe Stark, trying to prove why she belonged in this match, and now she's just back to losing. Like, it's just
She ate in that match.
yeah, and it
She
just goes
did,
to show.
yeah.
It just goes to show that they don't care to build Zoe Stark right now. It was just because they were like, well, she's a good wrestler, throw her in there. You could have had Dakota Kai, man. She was like literally on a live stream, like visibly upset and crying, like, I want a shot. I just haven't been given a shot. What do? Throw Zoe Stark in instead, only to job her out.
I appreciate Dakota Kai's willingness to die,
yeah,
because that's what would have happened.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Moving on.
anything else on SmackDown, you can go watch the WWE YouTube channel, because
Much
We're
ado
not-
about
I-
nothing.
there was nothing there. But I mean, if you really need to, I think there's something.
LA Knight
there.
had a cool entrance. Watch that.
Oh, yeah, that.
That's about it.
No, yeah, that was.
So, we're moving into SummerSlam.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
on I believe, the second SummerSlam with this weird new logo that they got that I don't
I think
love,
it's the
but
third.
it
I
looks
don't
very
know.
industrial.
I don't remember if they did it 2 years
this was-
ago. I know they did it last
2022
year.
was in Nashville. This was not the logo for 2022.
but- okay.
Oh, 2022 was like that, like weird, like country looking one.
Oh yeah.
This is the
Okay.
the Detroit one.
So this is the second one, yeah.
remixed
Yeah.
for Cleveland.
This is like the like Motor City type Midwest
Yep.
type deal.
So, welcome to our SummerSlam predictions. This is the main event of our show tonight.
That's right.
We're gonna go through this order, this card in order that I believe. So this is SummerSlam Cleveland 2024, as told by Emil. So if you don't like it, fuck you.
I made this
Oh.
in a nice order in terms of least to most. I care about this, and you're about to ruin it.
I am,
you
because
don't-
we're gonna open the show with Sami Zayn, right?
I mean, yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
building it in terms of
Um,
what they think the card's gonna look like. I mean,
hold on.
they might
Oh.
open it with Paul and Knight. I'm not gonna lie, they might open
Hold-
it with the U.S. title.
Hold on, because there is an interesting point here that I actually also forgot to talk about while we're in the SmackDown thing. So the reason why there's these two titles matches on SmackDown, it's rumored that they didn't want to fill up the entire card with championship matches. However, there's only one match on this card that is not a championship match. So welcome to Night of Champions, the SummerSlam Cleveland edition, as told by Emil.
Is
You like that?
is McIntyre Punk seriously the only non-title match on the card?
That is
Indeed.
correct. Yes,
Sire.
there are 7 matches, and only
There are
one
7
does not
matches.
have a title, and they're all singles matches.
So, welcome to NXT Takeover, as told by Night of Champions. As
I mean,
told
I
by
guess
Emil.
to be fair, because like money,
told by
because like
Emil.
money in
long
the bank.
story, less long, as Emil would say.
Yeah, I
Sami
guess
Zayn
'cause,
and
like,
Braun.
Yeah, Braun.
So we know Braun's
Yeah,
killing
it's
him,
Braun.
right? That's
Braun's gonna
the-
kill him. Yeah.
It's Braun. Like I
Uh,
said, they're gonna drop. Sammy's gonna drop the belt to Braun so he can go and win the tag titles with Jay, and then go into the Bloodline story. And
Yeah, we've got stuff to
gonna
do
be
with
a
Sami
grand
Zayn
old
that does
time.
not involve this
he
Intercontinental
had a
title.
great Intercontinental Championship reign. He probably won a little bit more than he needed to. He probably should have lost to Chad.
Nah.
He probably should. Looking back, well, in the moment, yes. Looking back, no. Now he probably could have lost to Braun at Money in the Bank, but he didn't. That's fine. I was right, by the way. Yeah, he's gonna lose to Braun here. There's no way you're losing to Braun twice.
I said Sami was gonna win at Money in the Bank.
As did I.
Oh.
Yeah, Braun. Next,
All right.
what does Emil Hurst Helmsley
does-
book next?
What does Emil Hurst Hemsley book next? Probably the women's championship, Bailey and Nia Jax. Of course, the third unofficial member of this match is Tiffany Stratton with that briefcase that we know they don't like to let those women hold on to for very long. So a curious, intriguing thing there. However, I do also think that they want to kind of expand on the Nia and Tiffany relationship more. So, long story less long, Bailey is probably not winning this match. This is probably where some of our faces from Mania take some L's, which is just fine. Also, we got to make the Queen of the Ring look important.
I just got to make a note. First off, I think Nia Jax wins, and she will walk out as champion as well. And Tiffany will not cash in, because on this past week's SmackDown, Bayley attempted to destroy the briefcase. She tried to like open it and stand it up and like this, and then stomp it to like break it in half. It didn't break. Yeah. So, I'm sorry, that was also last week, not this week. So she's not cashing in for the simple fact that she's gonna now bring in her own custom briefcase. I'm sure Nia's probably gonna give it to her, because again, we're gonna build this relationship between Tiffany and Nia. And I put a hot take up on TikTok, and that Tiffany could cash in on Nia down the road after we build this relationship and turn Tiffany face. And people don't like that, but here's the thing. I don't understand how people don't see this working when, newsflash, you're already cheering Tiffany Stratton as a heel. Like, I don't get why she can't be a face, but that's just me. She can act the same way she does toward heels, and we like it, and we cheer it. So, when she's a face, you can thank me later. Yusuf, what you got, man?
Nia, at this point, I don't see a reality where Bayley. Well, yeah, I'm gonna stick with Nia.
Well, hold on. We are in a reality where RDJ comes back to the MCU, so it is. There's a
dog. That shit
there's a thing.
That is
here.
true. That's.
This is where you slipped this in.
I nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it.
You gave me
Honestly,
alternate reality options.
Yeah, that was actually
a
really good way to slip it in. Anyway, like, I'm still 50-50 on Tiffany cashing in. I think I'm starting to think it might be a little too soon. Give Tiffany all the time in the world with that briefcase, because she's just going to be fucking great with it. She will probably cash on Nia down the road. I feel like this might be like a 8-minute, 10-minute match between Jax and Bayley. Just make it quick. Make it quick, make it painless. But let Bayley try to get as much offense as she can, and then Nia's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit on you. And then Bayley dies.
I do enjoy painless when it comes to a Nia Jax match.
Yeah, I think everyone else does too.
I do enjoy painless, but she's doing it in all the right ways, so good for her for being a good heel.
So I also say Nia.
Nice.
In the world of NXT TakeOver Night of Champions, as told by SummerSlam, as told by Emil, the next match is, I believe, the United States match. And there's reasons why I think this match will be so early in the card. If this card, I believe, starts at 7
probably.
7.
Tyler,
7.
7.
Also, yeah.
So we will probably be around the 8:15 mark at this point, and that is a good time to kind of wake everybody up from their beer run and
From their beer run.
bring in LA Knight.
Yeah.
To pop the room,
Yeah.
and LA Knight is probably beating Logan Paul, and Logan Paul, of course, as I've said before, has no briefcase, so nothing fun will happen because of that.
Bro,
But
you're so
he is
extra for
losing.
talking about Paul as if like he was any shot in the world of being Money in the Bank this year.
He's losing,
Yeah.
and then he's gonna
So
go away.
I don't even know how to repeat what you said, but in SummerSlam, as told by Tyler today, I do believe that actually this match will open the show. I think that we will start it out real hot with LA Knight opening the show. Maybe we get another entrance like we did on SmackDown, walking through the crowd, or through the backstage or whatever, cutting a promo to the camera. And then, you start hot with Logan Paul. I do believe LA Knight will win. However, as of late, I've been having a few doubts, and I'm a little nervous that they might pull the trigger on having Logan Paul break the U.S. title record, because he's currently the third longest champion in the title's lineage.
Behind who? And
Ambrose,
for how many
I think,
days
is
does
the
he have to
longest
go?
reigning. Ambrose is the longest reigning.
Ugh.
And I
It
think
should be Ambrose and MVP.
right.
Yeah.
And both of them are now no longer with the company. MVP is supposedly basically waiting until his contract expires, and Ambrose is far removed from WWE. And Logan Paul is a megastar and a celebrity outside of the company, so it would make sense to want to have him break that record. So I really hope they don't do it. I really hope not, because in all of this time that he's been champion, I think it's been, what, like 9 months? Something around there? 9 or 10 months?
Crown Jewel, November.
He has defended the title twice.
Really?
This will be thrice at SummerSlam. That's it.
Ew.
Yeah. So I could see them trying to break the record. It would leave a bad taste in my mouth because it's not an actually good title reign. But my heart, I'm going to stick with my heart on this. I'm going LA Knight.
So, for clarification's sake, Logan Paul is currently at 267 days as United States champion. He will hit a year in November, on the 4th to be exact. And he is... Let me see if I do the math right here. 75 days shy of second place, which is MVP. His reign was 242 days. And the thing is, it's not that far away from Ambrose. It's only another 8 days after that. So, assuming he wins, it is 2.5-ish months, and he's got the record. Because no one's ever hit a year. So if he does hit a year, it's his record.
If he wins, it's a lock. Like, he's breaking the record.
Yeah. However, I fully believe that at NXT TakeOver SummerSlam, based on the novel Pushed by Sapphire, the Netflix original animated series, LA Knight is winning.
Whoa.
I don't know what show this is anymore. I don't know what it's called anymore.
you know what this reminds me of? This is like this just reminded me, Tyler, of when we were when we were talking about Raw at my house after Money in the Bank, and you and I just started spitballing for like an hour on TikTok.
With like pun names.
I just started throwing out like every school I could think of on the East Coast.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's that. This is what this is becoming.
Did University of Delaware make it?
It did not.
No, your boy Ben Queefin did though.
What?
It was like names like that. Anyway,
LA Knight's winning, right? Like I think it's getting to a point where this is getting a little more than ridiculous with Logan holding the title and not defending it at all. And like, here's the thing. I remember when Dean Ambrose held the title and had the record when he had held the title during the Shield days. He didn't defend it that often. People forget that. And people gave Dean Ambrose a lot of shit that he wasn't defending that title that often.
Yeah, that was a very big open complaint.
Dean Ambrose is on weekly television. Weekend and week
still
out.
there. He was still
there.
There.
For better or for worse.
Yes.
In a champion that doesn't do anything, that's not always the greatest move to be on every week.
Yeah, but he's still there. But for Logan, like, I get that Logan winning the title and, having him on, like, fucking daily TV, like, talk shows and the morning show and whatever and all this, and him having the belt with him is great publicity for the company. However, it's still a wrestling company. You gotta defend that belt as often as you can, probably. And for someone that talks as much as Logan, you gotta put up the same amount in the ring. Yeah. So this is probably where it ends, and where better to do it than his hometown of Cleveland.
They didn't have a PLE in Puerto Rico, so he couldn't make any of the international ones.
Fuck, this is his hometown, too. Oh, no.
Why do you think I've been pushing for the Logan Paul experiment since May?
Shut up with the Logan Paul experiment.
Huh?
This man has been campaigning for this man to have been Mr. Money in the Bank 1 month ago.
That, right.
Forever, dude.
To then lose the belt and cash in and win a world title in Cleveland.
It's not happening, dog. Maybe next year.
No, it's over now. But like, like the moment's passed. Like, I don't want to see that next year.
I don't want to hear it until next year.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it at all.
There's always next year.
God, what's next?
By this point in the show, Night of Champions is falling off a deep end, and we have turned this into reality television's Jersey Shore. No, not yet. No, we haven't turned into Jersey Shore yet. We're going to just a normal match. It's CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Special guest referee being Seth Rollins.
It's not where I thought you were going with this card.
Seth
also
Rollins,
not where I thought you were going with that.
was introduced as the guest referee as Tyler. We're going to try to avoid the fact that Tyler believes that this is now overinflation. I'm not going to say he's wrong. I'm not going to say he's right because I actually am kind of stuck in the middle right now, to be fair. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk have been fucking with each other for months. Everybody's over it. Adam Pearce is over it. Drew McIntyre is over it. Punk is over it. The crowd is over it. Michael Cole is over it. Everybody's done with it. So, but of course, we're not only going to get this match. We are going to get like at least 2 more matches. Probably a Hell in the Cell. Because what else is Bad Blood around for? No, seriously. What else is Bad Blood here for? That being said, this ends in a draw. I don't care who wins because there's going to be another one.
Seth Rollins wins.
You know what's funny?
Seth Rollins is gonna
I'm
win this
also of the squad of I think this is gonna end in like a double DQ or something.
Shenanigans.
Not
That's how this match is going to end.
There's
I
gonna be
actually
shenanigans.
have a clear-cut finish for this match. CM Punk will win.
Okay.
This is
Valid.
Punk's first singles match.
Yeah, that's right. This is insane to think about.
Sit in that one. Let's laugh at it because it's funny. We don't laugh enough on this podcast. This is why we don't. This is where shit gets good, right?
So this is Punk's first singles match, right? He hasn't had one. His only other match. Sorry,
Rumble.
Sorry, I'm still laughing at Emil's reaction because
That was
that
a great
reaction was
reaction.
so funny. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
So his first match was the Royal Rumble in which he got injured by Drew. So this is his first televised singles match.
There you
Yeah.
go.
What's the story been? Drew is screwed at every single point because of CM Punk. Now, I'm going to do my best to not talk about my thoughts about the direction of this story. Like Emil said, we'll keep it out of this. The only thing I'll say about it is Rollins deserved a match of his own, not involving these guys. Anyway, back to it.
Dipshits.
But back to it though. The point is what the story has been. Drew has been screwed at every point, right? So I think this is going to be a situation where Seth attempts to, I forget how it would play out in my mind, but basically like Drew would fuck with Seth a bunch, or Punk would fuck with Seth a bunch, and then Seth would go to hit Punk, and then that's what it was. Punk would fuck with Seth because they've been in a feud, right? So in the past, so Punk and Seth would be going at each other, and then eventually Seth he finally starts to make an impartial move. He finally swings on one of the competitors. He tries to swing on Punk. He accidentally nails McIntyre, and then Punk capitalizes, pins him for the win, and Seth is forced to count the pin. And that leads us to Berlin, I'm assuming, because I don't think they would do this at Bad Blood. I think Bad Blood would be saved for a McIntyre Punk match without Seth involved in the cell. So you do the triple threat at Bash in Berlin, or you wait. I don't know. But regardless, in terms of just this match, I think that somehow CM Punk wins because Seth does something. It's going to be very similar to that match between Brett and Taker with right? Is it Brett and Taker with Michaels as the referee? That match back in the day. There was a lot of comparisons to that specific match.
It's Taker's in that match. I know which one you're talking about. I think I might have been Brett and Taker. Maybe. Anyway, I get what you mean though. You know what? I'd be on the side of Punk winning. It is his first that's hilarious. Just fucking wild to think about. This man has been back since November, and this is his first televised singles match in 10 years in WWE. Anyway, a ref spot involving Seth makes the most sense. I think what also might happen is Punk gets in Seth's way, Seth gets in Punk's way, you know? And I think Seth actually takes a ref bump and gets, like, taken out. So then Punk has to go, God damn it, okay, get another referee. Someone... So he's, like, signaling to the back. They have to get someone, like, urgently. Punk pins McIntyre. And then Punk looks at Seth down on the ground. He's like, can you do your job properly? And then just books it. You know, something like that, like shenanigans. It's gonna be nothing but shenanigans.
It's going to be pure chaos. It may even be a segment. Like, you know how we kind of get like those weird matches that are booked and then they kind of just turn into a segment?
Mm-hmm.
It may be that. Like, there's so much nonsense.
I don't know if they're going to go that route because we've been waiting so long for Punk to have a singles match at this point.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
They're not going to waste that moment.
You also have to think, right? Like, Seth had to have been a backup plan if Punk was still injured and not cleared, right?
Probably.
That was probably
right.
that's probably why they did that.
I'm actually the most curious to see how Seth is gonna, what he
does,
what he's gonna wear. Like, what is his referee outfit gonna be?
It's gonna be some like puffy zebra shit. Like,
he's gonna do some.
It's gonna be like
dumb
shit.
He's
gonna have like an actual zebra head.
Yo,
Yeah, like
I know that the world's gonna be. What is he wearing?
Like in Tyler's Night of Champions, SummerSlam, Cleveland, NXT Takeover, whatever bullshit. I would have had at Tyler's NXT Takeover, Money in the Bank, Night of Champions bullshit. I would have had Braun Breaker beat Sammy, and then at NXT Takeover, Night of Champions, SummerSlam, Cleveland edition, I would have had. Sorry, that was funny. I would have had Braun Breaker defend the Intercontinental title against Seth Rollins.
That would have been cool.
Yeah,
I feel though that at the upcoming WWE Battle of the Belts,
it's just a different pay-per-view every time.
I love AEW.
That's not even a pay-per-view at that
That's
point.
AEW free TV.
AEW
Okay,
free
fine,
television.
fine. At fucking Blood and Guts.
At WW, not AEW, at WWE Battle of the Belts 2, it's just gonna be chaos. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. The fact that this is the only non-title match on the entire card is kind of hilarious, but also kind of fitting that this is the only non-title match on that card.
And kind of liberating, because you
It is a
can
little
do
liberating, yeah,
whatever you
know?
want. It's nice. Punk's gonna hit his spots, and then after that, you can kind of do what you want. It's fun. Just have fun. If you just want, to just enjoy some bullshit for probably about 15 minutes, that's what this is gonna be. And that's good. It gives everybody kind of a chance to calm down. Everybody will get a laugh. We'll get the pop for Punk, and it'll be great. And then while we're in the midst of this match and this match finishing, unfortunately, here's where I'm gonna get some heat. The cooldown from this is gonna be Damian Priest and Gunther for the world title. This is gonna be this has. So, and
this is why Bayley and Nia Jax would have been the cooldown in my heart of hearts.
For that. I'll even get into my reasoning for this, because the next two matches after this are the women's world title, which has a ton of heat and a ton of love, both in mainstream and in wrestling fans' eyes. And then, of course, the main title is the WWE title, which is Cody Rhodes, so he's going last. And we all know what's going to happen at the end of that. So, for that reason, we have Damian Priest and Gunther, and I'm not gonna lie, Tyler, on the pod that died, we were talking about how much we love the Gunther heel promo to the point where we don't even want him to win anymore. And I think it's really fucking awesome how good Gunther is for that. I'm not convinced he's winning this title anymore. And if Nia is winning, that means the Queen of the Ring, King of the Ring has some validity to it. While giving a nice big face victory, which I kind of think Damian needs. Kind of needs it. Yusuf kind of was on this train as well.
So I think on the pod that died, I brought up the whole, with like we were talking about that Gunther promo for a while, just like how captivating it was, but at the same time, Damian's promos have been really good. They've been really good since Money in the Bank, right? And this is another one of those parallels to what's been going on in AEW. And funny enough, this also regards Will Ospreay. But Tim and I talked about how this was a parallel to the Ospreay Swerve match at Forbidden Door last month in June. Because we talked about this numerous times. Oh yeah, Ospreay's winning the belt. He's going into All In. He's going into the UK as AEW World Champion. Yeah, cool. Okay, whatever. We know that. That's fine. But then those promos started happening. And then we start getting the real build up to that match. And it starts getting personal. And Swerve starts talking. And Swerve is a great promo. And Will starts talking. And Will's getting better and better at promos despite being just an angry Englishman. That's his whole thing, right? But as those promos went on, the seed of doubt started to come into all of us of like, what if Swerve wins? Like, what if Will actually doesn't win here, right? And it got to the point where the go home Dynamite before Forbidden Door, I genuinely was like, I don't know who's winning anymore. I think if you asked me a month prior, yeah, Ospreay is winning easy, right? He was getting the title. And it's funny how the same situation is happening now in WWE. When Gunther won King of the Ring, everyone's like, yeah, okay, he's winning the belt. There's no way, right? And then they announced that it's happening at SummerSlam. Okay, SummerSlam's right before Bash at Berlin. He's gonna go back to Europe with the World Heavyweight title. It makes the most sense, right? Much like the Ospreay thing. It makes the most sense. He's walking into that building with the belt. He's walking out of that building with the belt. I don't think he is. I think he's losing at SummerSlam. I think this is where two things happen. Number one is, now, to be fair, Gunther losing doesn't ruin the validity of the King of the Ring tournament, but I will say this. It does two things here. Thing number one is it instills that sort of face turn of Damian Priest that we've been looking for. We've been seeing it coming, more and more with each passing day. And, well, actually, it does that and also instills that Damian can truly hold his own against, like, a mega monster of an opponent. Because his title defenses so far have been like, what, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre you can kind of consider like a monster type character, but he's not like a Gunther monster type character. You know what I mean? The second thing is I think this is where Damian turns his back on the Judgment Day. Not the other way around. Because I think what's going to happen, the Judgment Day is so caught up right now in the Liv Rhea thing, in that situation, that Damian's going to go, are you guys not going to come? You're not going to, like, celebrate after I win? They go, no, boss, we got to worry about Liv and Rhea. We got to make sure, Mommy gets the title back. Okay. Are you guys going to come out? No. He goes, do you want us to? And he goes, not really. And don't, like, he's going to probably tell him, like, please don't get involved. I'm like, I want to handle this myself. This is not between Gunther and the Judgment Day. This is between Gunther and Damian Priest. Gunther's promos have made this so personal to Damian that this is Damian's proving night. This is where he truly shows the world, yeah, I can take on, like, some of the best talent in the world. And I can beat them by myself. So at this point in time, I have Damian Priest winning.
Cool story. Gunther's winning.
Oh,
that's so boring.
Nah. I mean, here's the thing. The groan. I love it. All right, here we go. They're too late. They're too late on giving Damian a big win. Sorry, should have done it at Money in the Bank. Gunther has been off TV for a while.
That wasn't his fault.
I don't care. It wasn't his fault. I don't care. This is the reality. Like, at this point, I understand that it doesn't kill the validity. This does not kill the validity of King of the Ring if Gunther loses. Fair, I'll concede that. But what it does kill is Gunther's validity. Gunther, since losing this title, has spent this journey for like 4 months from the Intercontinental title. He said, I'm coming for that World Heavyweight title. I'm coming for the belt. He went through King of the Ring. He beat Randy fucking Orton to win King of the Ring. Clean or not is a different story. It was meant to be clean, and that's what matters. He then took some time off. He's been built up with like these awesome video packages. He now has been cutting this promo on Damian. The only way that any of this sticks and feels legitimate is if Gunther follows through and gets the win. It's the only way. After all of this, building Gunther up as a monster only to have him lose clean, it makes everything after that, it makes it an uphill battle for Gunther from there on out.
Well, no one said all that.
All what?
No one said it was clean. I didn't really think about it like being like a dirty finish, like a shenanigans finish. But
I don't see it being dirty. I don't see it being an unclean finish, especially given what Yusuf said. It's very much been a Damian Gunther feud. No Judgment Day. Everything that Damian has been doing has been independent on his own. It's been a great feud, and honestly, I won't be mad if Damian wins, but in my opinion, I will be upset because Gunther is somebody that they need to prioritize and strap the rocket to, and they've had months to do it to Damian, and they just decided not to. It was their time to shit or get off the pot at Money in the Bank, and they got off the pot. They can't shit now, or it's going to be on the floor. So, Gunther wins, and then you can set up Damian and Finn and Damian leaving the Judgment Day as that goes on, because then you can say you have Damian, like, because especially if Judgment Day is completely separate from this and they don't help Damian in any way, Damian then can lose and then go to them and be like, yo, where were you guys? And they can say, dude, you've been telling us to leave you alone and stay out of it, so we did. And like Yusuf said, plus we're focused on Mommy getting the women's title back. So that way there's an out for that, and then it sets up Finn being like, listen, man, like I told him to stay back. I told him not to help you, because Finn has been in this power struggle because he's been wanting to call the shots, but first Damian was calling the shots and butting heads with Finn, and now the past couple weeks since Rhea's come back, Rhea's now calling the shots. Damian's on his own, and Finn is now at butting heads with Rhea. So Finn now is like, this is my turn to call the shots. And based on my prediction for the women's world title match, Finn may assume power at that point.
Segueing into that match, because that is what's next.
I figured I'd alley up that. Oop.
I mean, if this main event's, what the fuck?
I would love it, but it's
if
not.
If this went last on the card, what the fuck?
It'd be
Holy
great.
Shit.
Highlight of the year.
The whole world would be upside down. No, but for real, now we're at Jersey Shore. It's Liv Morgan, it's Rhea Ripley. The multiple different theories are available for this match. The theory of Rhea Ripley winning is pretty low on the totem pole. It just kind of deflates everything. Not that it isn't like a big pop victory and a big face victory and this big moment for Rhea. Absolutely. But the story kind of just...
It's just not the time yet.
It's literally like a balloon. It's gone like that. Like if you put a needle to it, like it's just gone like that. There's no real saving it after that because there's no point, right? So the other prevailing theories are Liv Morgan wins via Dominic. Liv Morgan wins via Finn. I'm just as much championing the Finn Balor theory as much as I'm championing the Logan Paul theory.
I'm kidding.
Which Tyler also hates.
No, I don't hate it. But finish your point.
Liv Morgan has to walk out of this with a belt, right? That's the goal. The goal is that Liv Morgan has been kind of imploding the Judgment Day. Whether the story is Dominic, which is the fair choice, whether it's Finn, which is the interesting choice. Both are interesting in their own respect. Liv's walking out with his belt. That's just how it is. Sorry,
100%. I'm with you. If Rhea wins the belt back like that after being back for what, like 2-3 weeks, it just makes Liv look really fucking stupid. I would like the Finn theory, but hear me out. They're going with the Dom theory to get to the Finn theory.
Elaborate.
So this past week on Raw, we saw Dom and Rhea in the ring, Liv's in the crowd, and she's like, say I love you, basically. And Dom's like, I hate you, you're ruining my life, this and that and the other, whatever he said. He went on a rant, he spoke Spanish, he did all that shit, right? that just looked too easy, and it looked too convincing. It looked like too much like he was overdoing it to play off to Rhea that he was still on her side, when in reality he's gonna screw her over at SummerSlam. Which there was a backstage segment that happened as well where the Judgment Day were looking for Jay, and Carlito and JD went one direction and Finn and Dom went a different direction. And then from there, Finn split off from Dom, and then Dom kept walking, and Liv is there down a hallway. She's like, Dom, like, I want to talk to you. And she's trying to talk to him, and whatever. He's like, get away from me, all this shit. And then Finn comes up, and he's like, bro, I left for 10 seconds, and you're already talking to her? And he's like, no, it's not what it looks like, whatever. It's all that again. And then it's going to be like, and then it's like, and it's, they were like, all right, let's look for Jay. Dom was like, yeah, I think Jay went that way. And he's pointing in the direction that Liv went. He's like, I think Jay went that way. Why the fuck's he saying Jay went that way? The only person he saw go that way is Liv Morgan. And Finn said, no, you're going this way. So from here, I think that Dom is the sad little boy being manipulated. And he is going to proclaim his love for Liv, help Liv win the belt. And I don't know if it happens right after that match at SummerSlam or it happens down the line, but I think when Dom finally embraces Liv Morgan, they finally have their moment. Liv screws him over, and then they reveal that it's been Liv and Finn all along. So then Dom's on his own. Maybe it could be Dom and maybe it can be Dom, Finn, JD, Carlito, and Liv in Judgment Day. Because he could still keep Judgment Day going. The goal here is you want to break Rhea and Damian off on their own, because they're the ones that need to go off on their own. But regardless, the Dom's getting screwed. And Rhea's getting screwed at SummerSlam.
I would like to say something. So Rhea's losing, that's for sure. And we've already gone over the potential run-in from like Finn or JD or Dom. What about a Carlito run-in?
That's not cool.
That's cool.
That's
not
why. Cool. Because Carlito,
I fucking love Carlito.
This whole fucking time as a member of the Judgment Day has been like the random comic relief he's just there. Like, that's the thing about Carlito. He's just been there. Like, there's nothing else to him, right? But what if, he understands that, if Liv loses, that no more wild shit between her and Dom, and that ain't cool, bro. So Carlito's doing this for Carlito.
No more chicken nuggies in PS5.
Yeah. he ain't doing this for fucking anyone else other than himself. And he's like, we gotta do this, bro. So, who knows? We could get a Carlito. Because the other thing, too, is Rhea, ever since getting back, is like, why is Carlito here? Like, what is he doing here? And she hasn't been confrontational with Carlito, obviously, about, like, you're not a part of the Judgment Day. What are you doing here? But Damian's like, he's cool. That's fine. Right? But I think for Rhea, it's like, why are you actually here? There's more. There could be more to it than we think.
Tim's got the Logan Paul theory. Yusuf's got the Carlito theory.
And Tyler hates AEW.
No, I do not, dude. I just don't pay attention.
He's thinking about it. Tim's thinking about this now.
I don't love it. I actually hate it.
I figured. I'm glad you do.
I cannot fucking
Chicken
stand
nuggies
that
in
idea.
PS5? That's cool.
That's cool, man.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. I also think that would just be the literal. Where's King Ross when you need him? WTF?
Nah,
Yeah,
I'm
would
rolling.
be.
Nah, Yusuf sold me. I'm rolling.
There you go.
I'm out.
Fuck the
I'm
whole
pulling
Dom
out of that
shit.
one.
Fuck Dom.
Carlito theory, baby.
It's about
I don't-
Carlito, bro.
I don't like that one. I
He
don't like
spits
that.
in the
Has
face
he
of
wrestled on
people-
TV?
Yeah, he's wrestled.
Is he wrestling?
Yeah,
Or
he
is just
wrestles.
there?
He wrestles.
He wrestles.
Occasionally.
He does. They did like a 6-man tag with like Finn, JD, and Carlito against like Braun and the LWO at some point during that
Ew.
feud. Yeah.
Ew.
I just want Carlito there. I just want him to like. I just like his facial expressions like in these backstage segments. Yeah.
Oh, he sells. I mean, he's
Oh,
a
for
ruthless
sure.
aggression guy, so he does some of the
He's
he doesn't
fucking great.
he doesn't do the minimalist acting
Yeah.
that some of them do now. Like he still does like ruthless aggression, like big
Right.
big exclamation type acting, and it works for him.
Oh, for sure.
All right, we've already talked about this. We know what's going on in this world title match, right? Cody's winning.
Cody's winning.
Cody's winning.
So for those, just in case, undisputed WWE title, Cody
one cares
defends
who he's
against Solo
facing.
Sikoa. Cody will win, and then. Well,
Not yet. Cody will
Not
win.
happening.
The Cody. Well, no, not what I meant. Cody
Okay.
will win. The Bloodline will then attack Cody,
Oh,
and then
Oh,
Yeah.
Yawn.
yeah, because they have to,
Yawn.
right?
Because they've
I
been
think-
doing it for the past 3 fucking weeks.
Well, anyway, Solo's gonna be like, I lost. How did I lose? I'm the tribal chief. I should automatically win shit. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. Quickly, go attack Tongaloa. You stay there. You don't get in the ring. And then like Jacob and Tama are gonna fuck Cody up, and I have a feeling this is gonna happen. Probably not, but who knows at this point. Cody gets attacked. He gets laid out, right? Jimmy comes in, tries to save his boy because he's like, yeah, I gotta help my boy. You know, even though he's not on the card, he probably be around. He's like, I gotta help my boy. So he goes out there, tries to help out Cody. He gets laid out by Jacob and by Tama. And Solo's just watching him the whole time like, you shouldn't have come, Jay. You shouldn't have come. Why would you help him? You shouldn't have done that. And Solo's gonna march over to the ring, just he's gonna get in there. He's gonna see the WWE title on the ground, and Jacob Fatu or Tama, one of the two, is gonna hand it to him. And he's gonna look at the title for a bit, stare at it. And he's gonna hold it over his head, and as he throws up the one, Roman.
the end goal is Roman.
I could do
Yeah, the
without.
end goal has to be Roman.
I could do without the attack.
I don't really care.
I
However-
feel like it's gonna happen, unfortunately. That's kind of unfortunately, that has been this Bloodline's MO.
But you know that makes sense because you know what it seems like they wrote off Randy Orton. It seems that they wrote off Kevin Owens. So going in, Cody's likely by himself, right?
Right.
So you have Cody get attacked. Say Jimmy comes out because he just returned the night before on SmackDown, huh? And then he still doesn't even the odds. And then Jay and Sammy come out and even the odds.
Oh.
But guess what? Jacob Fatu's too good for all of them, and Cody just wrestled the whole match. So they're still gonna beat the shit out of them. Who's the difference maker? And maybe not even the difference maker as in he gets in the fight, but all he has to do is come out to just make everyone stop in their tracks. And it's Roman.
Well, alternatively, there doesn't have to be an attack, but say the Bloodline like gets the upper hand on Cody. They don't attack him, but they like get in the ring and surround him. Because they're like, you just beat our tribal chief.
Could see that too.
You did that, and they do that, and as they're about to, one of two options do you have: either Jimmy and Jay come out to try and even up the odds a little bit for them to square up with the Bloodline, and then as they're all in the face-off, then you hit Roman's music, because it'll depend on what kind of reaction you want from the baby faces. This is where I'm going with this. Chances are they're gonna have a shot of the ring when Roman's music hits, because they're gonna want to get the shock reaction of, oh no, he's here. Now the question is, from the side of the baby faces, from Cody and potentially the Usos if they're both there, imagine from a fan perspective the reaction of Jimmy and Jay hearing Roman's music hit, because they have two different thoughts about that. For Jimmy, it's, oh, he's back, and for Jay, it's, oh, he's back. Uh-oh. And it's a slow look back to the entrance as Roman and probably an injured Paul Heyman with the neck brace, assuming he still has the neck brace. It'd be funny if he did. Just walk out to the ramp and say nothing at all. But Paul just looks over at Solo and goes, it's time. Your time's up as chief. Our actual tribal chief is home.
I could see
We'll cut
that.
the show.
I
Boys,
could
we're
see that.
overbooking.
We're
I think-
overbooking a lot.
I think what
Yeah.
happens. I think what really happens is what I said a couple weeks ago on the pod, where Cody wins. He slides out of the ring real fast. Like, oh fuck, I'm getting out of here. There's 4 big Samoan beefy dudes, and I'm just one little Cody blonde guy. Holds the belt. Pyro on the stage. He goes backstage, and the show looks like it's gonna end with just Solo in the ring, almost like when they show when someone loses a match and they're trying to get an ovation from the crowd. But Solo's like kind of ready to discipline the troops. Like, you just screwed me over. You cost me the title. Like, you guys should have been there. You guys should have helped
more.
Me. Yeah. But then, right at that moment, Cody's out of the picture now, so they don't have to face off. They don't have to interact. And then Roman comes out, and all he has to do, like I said, is stand on the stage. And I think Emil, you said that you wanted something. You didn't want the stage thing, or maybe you wanted him to go to the ring. I think one of y'all said that when we did the pod together.
I could do the stage. I could do the ring.
Stage probably.
I could do either.
Alternatively, to not overbook, but to still keep, unfortunately, the attack angle, because this would actually be continuity of a existing branch of this story. Solo lays out Cody after the match. Solo goes, "How could I have lost? What do you mean? I'm Solo Sikoa. I'm like the most boring member of this family. I never lose. I'm the tribal chief, goddammit." So he takes up, they attack Cody. Cody's down to the ground, like again, with the title. And then, Roman. And the reason I kind of want this to be the case with Cody down rather than Cody getting the fuck out of there as fast as humanly possible is because it breaks one of the 2 rules Roman set in his absence that he left with Paul. In my absence, two things. Number 1, CM Punk is off limits. Number 2, when he gets back, Cody Rhodes is his. So now imagine Roman coming back and seeing, why is the man that beat me at WrestleMania laying down to this wannabe? It'll break the only thing. And it's been happening for weeks, right? Constantly they've been going after Cody. Now, when they finally have a match between Solo and Cody, Solo's going to lose, obviously. But Solo's going to attack Cody after and be like, this belt should be mine, on the tribal chief. That will be what really snaps the twig, and that's where Roman, comes out. And I don't think he needs to walk down to the ring. Just keep him on the ramp.
I mean, the problem here is, right, we have to have the winner get the fuck away, right?
We do.
Because really, after this, I want no Cody and Bloodline.
I'm tired of Cody and the Bloodline.
I 1,000% agree.
I'm tired.
I want him nowhere near the Samoans during any point of this storyline. Any point. I really could be very cool until this Rock match that has to happen, which doesn't need to happen. We don't want it.
Nope.
Let me go again.
Rock's winning the Rumble. I'm calling it now.
I don't need this Rock return. I don't need more of this. No, we're cool.
Nope.
We're cool. We did it.
I'm hyped for the Rock Cody match, but also Rock's winning the Rumble. It's gonna happen.
I don't know.
Still hard pass. All of this is hard pass. So really,
that's crazy. Y'all are crazy for that. I actually do want this Rock Cody match.
10 years ago.
No, I still want it, dude. I think you forget the story that's been told over WrestleMania, dude. That story's still there.
Well, yeah, obviously you want the match, because at that point, it's gonna be, The Rock's gonna be like, this time last year, I had my family, but now my family's in shambles. Look at you don't have one. And Cody goes, that's where you're wrong. And then Bullet Club reunites.
No. Pass.
Nah. I did see an interesting custom graphic though for Survivor Series, and the concept was, what if they did WWE and SmackDown, Raw, and TNA, and they had WWE champ Cody Rhodes, World Heavyweight champ Finn Balor at the time, and TNA World champ AJ Styles in a triple threat.
I thought you were gonna say Moose, and
I was also gonna say Moose. I'm like, Moose.
No.
I was I'm rolling. I'm rolling.
Well, not because there have been rumors since this NXT NA thing where they've also teased main roster crossover with TNA.
Did you say NXT NA?
He did say NXT NA. It's clever, actually.
That's
like that.
Y'all haven't heard this before?
No.
Y'all live under a rock for real.
Yeah.
Nah, but Basically, like, there have been rumors when this happened of when this was at the same time Styles was like, I need to figure out what's next for me. People thought he was going to go to TNA and challenge Moose for the title and take the belt from him. So he still could.
Now it's Nick Nemeth.
TNA.
Yeah,
So.
well, now it's Nick Nemeth. Correct.
Yeah, so.
But you could still have it. Styles Ziggler is a good match.
Yeah.
Who?
Who?
I mean Styles Nemeth.
He does mean Styles Nemeth. Who's
Yeah.
Ziggler?
Got it.
Who is that?
That's SummerSlam. That's NXT Night of Champions, as told by SummerSlam, as told by Emil, and friends.
The Netflix original series.
I have one random thing to say real quick before we move on from this, from SummerSlam in general.
Okay.
SummerSlam weekend has like a million fucking shows. Every WWE wrestler has a one-man show now.
Yeah.
It's like Sami Zayn's doing another comedy show. Undertaker's doing another one dead man show. Damian Priest has a show.
It's a concert.
What?
It's like a concert.
No, it's
Seriously?
not. No, it's not a concert.
Oh, I thought that's what it
Damian
said.
Priest.
Oh, damn.
Well, they're just gonna perform his entrance on loop. All rise for the outlaw. Nah, it's gonna be. It's like it's the WWE 24 documentary, like the biography, premiere. They're gonna like show Damian's premiere, and then they're gonna do like a panel. And I think I think Rhea's also gonna be there, and somebody else was supposed to be there.
Don't forget Sam Roberts, who is also.
Oh,
a
and
WWE
Sam Roberts is doing a show as well, but he's not. That's not technically like a WWE affiliated show.
No, it's his own.
But he's an employee.
He is an employee. This is true.
Yeah, I kind of.
And Kathy
man,
Kelly's
that's
there.
insane. Kathy Kelly will be there.
When's CM Punk gonna get a one-man show?
Dude, if anyone deserves a fucking
one man show, it's him.
They're absolutely
I don't wanna
gonna
watch
do a
Sami
Punk
Zayn
show.
talk.
I think there's
What
a
the
reason
fuck?
they're not. I think they know that,
They
but
don't
they're
wanna
not
give him
giving him one
Well,
for a
actually-
reason.
They're waiting for him to be bitter.
They're
Yeah.
waiting for Chicago. That's what they're waiting for.
Oh God! You know, it's funny. I was actually just thinking
I'm actually
about
over
his.
Chicago.
I was thinking
I actually
about
could
that
never go back.
Starcade. I was thinking about that Starcade interview he had done like all those years ago, and I'm like, okay, now imagine that if it was just Punk by himself for an hour.
I mean, it kind of was.
Yeah, I mean, well, like not being asked questions by a moderator is what I mean.
Without mans.
Yeah, without mans, like no mans, just Punk. Like it'll just be him shitting on. It'll be a roast. It'll be a roast for an hour of just Punk being like, yeah, you know what? This one wrestling company I worked for, God, I hated them.
I mean,
Tribalism about to go stupid.
As Tyler has mentioned earlier in the show, and I think it's a very interesting point, and probably the nicest rumor that we've ever heard, especially coming from the CM Punk rumor mill, is that Punk is currently very happy with his contract. He's
Oh, they
very
love
happy
him.
with the way things are running. They love him. He's being a model citizen, which is really all you can ask for out of a
They're
man who's
genuinely
45
working
and
on
is-
him succeeding Shawn Michaels as head of NXT.
You love to see it, man. You really
Yeah,
do love to see it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like it.
I want him
I
to
love it.
succeed Dusty, man. I want him to be
Yeah,
doing promo classes in NXT.
you know,
I mean,
I know we talked about
Sean's
this.
got 20 years on him, so he'll be
Yeah,
fine.
well, I mean, you know, this is something we've talked about in the past, but like NXT is so blessed for what they have. Like for that first batch, they got to learn from Dusty Rhodes. For this current batch, they're going to be learning from Shawn Michaels, right? But also, this current batch now is learning from a guy that a lot of these wrestlers grew up watching,
Literally.
that they
I mean,
all thought would never come back.
Literally, Cora Jade is a Punk person.
Yeah. Roxanne's a Punk person.
Roxanne's a Punk person.
Yeah.
Trick is a
I mean,
Punk person.
Trick
I mean,
is a
if we-
Punk guy. Yeah.
I was gonna say if we look at the other side, MJF is a Punk guy. Who Darby I would like to
Darby,
probably believe is a
arguably,
Punk guy. So there are a lot of people right now who are Punk people, and I
Yep.
mean that's where we're getting to. I mean,
And it's insane to think, because like, you know, to take a promo class with Dusty Rhodes and to have him like, you know, talk to you about how to cut a promo of like all the iconic things he said over the years, to take any class with Shawn Michaels to talk about, you know, in-ring work and talk about how to like talking about selling and the way, you know, you go about things. I am fully expecting that the next, like this generation and the next generation of NXT guys that come around, we're going to get some insane talkers, because you're getting classes with CM Punk, probably the best talker of like this era. Yeah, it's going to be sick. And if he actually does, you know, with the way everything's going, if he does take over for Shawn Michaels, that's just like the icing on the cake for, I think, for him and for Punk fans that have been by his side, like, since day one, and even since he walked out. Like, that one day he would come back, and one day he will be a positive light in this company again. And sure, he wasn't a positive light in the other company, but I think because of that is him coming back and being like, I gotta stop being so fucking bitter. It didn't help that the company he previously worked for was run by idiots and just mismanaged.
Yeah.
But coming back now, him and Triple H have made amends, and you can tell whenever Punk shows up on Raw, whenever he's on SmackDown, whenever he shows up on TV, wherever he is on WWE programming, there's a smile on his face and a look in his eye of like, I actually like being here again.
Good.
Yeah.
Good business breeds good business. That's
Yeah.
really the story of CM Punk. When things are good, they're good. It would be really interesting. Not that I want WWE to fall, but it would be really interesting to see if times were bad. It would have been really interesting to see him in 2019, during right before all the Vince stuff and right before COVID. That would have been super interesting as well. But I mean, here we are. Business is good. Punk is good, and that's really all you can ask for from somebody who is very outspoken and very not corporate, and really has a tendency to get into fights with people. And it's not just Eddie Kingston. It's not just the Young Bucks. It's not just Jack Perry. It's people that we haven't heard of, or people who are lost to wrestling history, that have had issues with Punk. So it's very gratifying to see that we're at a place where he can be a bit of an adult.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Bloodsport?
Bloodsport. Indie news.
I don't know.
This is
I
what
don't
I
know what
check
I'm
out.
singing, but that's the indie corner theme.
That's my indie corner theme. I got a little hat too and everything. I didn't bring it to Dallas.
Still a little dancing man.
So Bloodsport, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport is happening today. I believe Shayna Baszler's match is currently going on as we speak at the time of this recording. The Creed brothers both won their matches today, which is sick. Actually, it's kind of cool that both Creeds won. Brutus knocked out Tom Lawler, and that's something not a lot of people can say they've done in life.
You're telling me the lesser Creed brother knocked out one of the best brawlers in the game?
That's exactly what I'm saying, actually.
Shoot?
No way.
Yeah.
I don't. No, it's not shoot, right?
It's not shoot. It's not shoot. Yeah, but
Oh, okay.
I think. Well, it's interesting because, the way Brutus and Julius won their matches, Julius won after a low lariat down, and then did all the strikes, and that was ref's decision. Calls for a TKO, and you're done. Brutus was a little different. He hit Tom Lawler with a power bomb. Tom Lawler was down. Brutus hits him with the same lariat as Julius did in his match, and Tom Lawler was just gone.
Unrelated, I have a note from results of Bloodsport.
Is it regarding a certain someone showing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you got
Breaking?
that too.
I'm reading it right now.
Oh, you just got that now?
I mean,
Hey, Tyler's
I'm on
having
a
a
website.
hold up moment.
Okay.
Hold up.
MVP showed up at Bloodsport
Yes, he did.
and said his contract with another company, wonder which one that is coming up, and he's not going back. And he's not ready to retire, so he challenged Josh Barnett to face him at a Bloodsport show. So MVP is now going to wrestle in Bloodsport.
Yawn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yawn.
But you know what? I think Lashley's going to Bloodsport.
Oh, yeah.
Where's
100%.
Omos?
I think
Yo.
Where's Omos? That's a good question.
He's on YouTube doing fragrance videos.
That's so funny to me.
Did you not see
That's
that?
so
Did you see what I put
funny
that?
to me.
we saw it.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
making
We're
sure you
choosing to
peeped.
ignore it.
He's my fragrance king, bro.
Actually, I mean, he puts on a suit. He's a good-looking dude. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, he is.
But
Oh, he rocks a turtleneck too.
for real, tall man's long neck. I gotta
No.
stop.
I love that the news of Omos, just like WWE just gave up on him. And I'm kind of like, yeah. Unfortunately, Plus, like, for them trying to make Omos this unkillable, like, giant, and they tried hard. They tried really hard with him. They didn't try as hard with Oba. And Oba is, like, the scariest thing on Earth now. Oba Femi, to me, is what Omos should have been.
I mean, they could have just not killed him.
That, too. Yeah.
It's like, you know, like, it's like when a character dies and they realize that they fuck up, so they bring back a different version of the character. Or
Yeah.
like a past version of the character in, like, a dream sequence. And it's
Yep.
just like, see, you knew you had a good thing. You could have just not written
You
it
could have
that
just
way.
kept it there,
No one
yeah.
in the room went, hey, we could not do this.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel about things like that. It's like, hey, we could have not done that.
Hey,
Yeah.
man. It is what it is. It's where we're at now. MVPs in Bloodsport. The Brutus Creed beat Tom Lawler.
Lawler.
He's the beefier one?
He's
He's
the
the
shorter,
beefier
stockier
one. He's
one.
the
yeah.
shorter, beefier one. Yeah.
Ah. I don't know.
Julius is the
I
one
don't
that
care enough.
people are like, oh, that guy's gonna main event a WrestleMania. I still don't see it, but
I don't see that either.
nah. But
I'm getting a little tired of the you see a guy once and you go, that guy is main eventing a WrestleMania thing.
yeah, nah, fuck that, dude.
I don't remember if we ever did decide to talk about this on the pod, but Tyler and I had some fun after Money in the Bank of doing. I still don't know why we did it, but we did. After NXT Heatwave, go down the wildest rabbit hole of the first episode of NXT.
Oh yeah,
And
that was great.
At some point, I paused the episode, staring at Von Wagner, going, "They thought this guy was going to be a Mania main eventer.
They thought he was the next Edge.
They thought he was the next Edge."
They thought he was
like,
the next Edge.
like 2010 game show NXT?
No.
and 2.0.
NXT 2.0. Do you remember? We all watched it together.
Oh, why would you do that to yourself?
Well, because part
was
of it
actually
was.
kinda
I would have watched
entertaining.
the game show.
It was kind of intriguing.
Oh yeah, the game show.
It was kind of intriguing, and also because that class of NXT now is in the main roster. That's the first like class that actually went through the 2.0 system from day one, right?
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton, Carmelo Hayes, Braun
Braun
Breaker.
Breaker, Cora Jade.
Jade.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
R.I.P. Corey J.
Andre Chase is in that. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Exactly.
not
It's-
dead, but she's hurt still.
Yeah.
Again.
It's insane to see just like, how NXT grew from there, but also like just the wild fever dream that was that first episode of NXT 2.0.
If we ever grow to the point where we can start up a Patreon and do a little thing, I would love to do some stuff where we just like react to matches. And honestly, one time I would love to just do the entire first episode of NXT 2.0. Maybe actually, you know what? Maybe just
that would be your
wedding
third time
segment.
watching it.
What?
That would be like your third time watching it. We don't need to.
We
do
didn't
that.
watch the whole thing. We
should-
only
we
watched
didn't watch
bits and
the whole
pieces.
thing.
You,
I think
you know
what
what
we-
match I would put on?
What?
You're not gonna like what I'm about to say.
Why?
I think I am.
I'd put on the WLC match.
No, let's go. Let's go, bro. Let's
Anyone
go.
remember the WLC?
That match cooked, dude.
Dude, it actually.
That match
fucking
actually did
cooked.
cook.
That
Yeah.
match cooked, bro.
People forget that match was good.
Was it El Torito and Hornswoggle?
Yes. Was
Yeah,
there a
dude.
third midget in there? Sorry, a little person.
Hey, yo.
Little person.
No, I don't think so. Because
Oh, I can't remember.
Hornswoggle was like the guy. It was Hornswoggle and El Torito. El Torito was with Los Matadores, and
Yeah.
and Hornswoggle was with 3MB.
Oh my god, it's fucking awesome.
He was-
is
yeah,
what that
dude.
was.
Oh,
I remember
that
that. They
match.
had little
Cooked.
Jerry Lawler.
Yeah,
and,
they had little ladders.
Dude, just like a fucking joke week with like that. The Jackass match with Sammy and Knoxville.
That's a good match. All
I know,
things considered.
but just
yeah.
like match, like chaos, like chaotic, just like goofy ass matches.
Yeah.
Like those two and
I
like, a couple
would-
more would
but
be
yeah,
great.
so we, with NXT, it's like my point being is there are some people I look at in NXT and I go, okay, yeah, I could see them like main eventing a PLE. I don't know about being like a Mania main eventer. Because I'm sure, like, the same, with Trick Williams, for example, right? This is just a complete sidebar. We could probably end this here, but with Trick Williams, like, no one fucking thought this guy was going to be a main eventer when he debuted. His debut was literally, and, like, again, Tyler and I rewatched bits and pieces of NXT 2.0, and this is truly, truly one of my favorite things about that whole night. Was Carmelo's in the ring doing his promo with Samantha Irvin doing the interview, which crazy when you think about it. And he just goes, and when I roll, I got my boy Trick Williams with me. And then it's just an awkward camera pan to beside Carmelo
Meanwhile,
Trick Williams, who was off camera, cutting the strangest heel promo I've ever heard, while being a babyface, partnered with a face, says something heel to his face partner, and then immediately follows it up. Oh shit! And then immediately follows it up with, "But I got your back." What?
meanwhile, you've been by yourself on TV for like 3 months, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah. Like,
He's like, you know, when I roll, I got my boy Trick. Like, dog, you've been in the company for 3 months, and
yeah. He's like,
where has he been?
I got my boy Trick Williams with me. Who?
Do you? I was like,
Who dat?
damn, that is like the biggest next in line shoehorn they could have done in that moment. Like,
yeah, and it was accidental too, if anything. That was like the
Oh my
weirdest
God,
foreshadowing.
man.
And like, you know, and then that episode when they're like, Von Wagner is taking this person's place in the NXT title match tonight. Huh? Who that? And then like later that night or like a couple days after, I was reading reports that they actually think Von Wagner was like a bona fide Mania main eventer one day. And I'm like, this dude has as much like aura as Mercedes Moné does now.
I will say, dude did
Don't do
have
that.
some aura. He had mid-card
He
aura.
did. He had mid-card aura, yeah.
Wait. We're not just going to disrespect Mercedes like that, because she does have aura.
Yeah.
Everyone
we're-
calm
I'll
down.
concede that Mercedes is a
Wait
little
a
more
minute.
than more than
She
a
does
Von
have
Wagner.
aura. I think
you lost
not.
me.
I think not aura is the word I'm looking for. Maybe is probably just like, I don't know.
it is
Not
aura.
swagger.
It is
aura, right? Yeah, I think it is. Because
Yeah.
like swagger, no. Yeah.
Von Wagner gives as much swag as Sexton Hardcastle.
Yeah.
God. All right.
God.
And with that,
Can
I
we-
think we should probably begin to wrap this shit up.
I think we're gonna wrap.
In the Emil version of this podcast, we don't do best in wrestling, but because Tyler's here, we are doing.
Sick.
We are doing a best in wrestling.
sick.
Only for Tyler. Tyler, what is your best in wrestling this week?
Fuck. I wasn't expected to go first.
Never mind, Yusuf. What is your best in wrestling this week?
So far, my best in wrestling is probably, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I think it might actually be the Dominic Mysterio Liv Morgan segment from Raw, where Dom just starts cussing her out in Spanish.
Are you stupid?
He's goes on and on and on and on and on, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro.
I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
I'm like, that's the Guerrero coming out in this boy. Like,
For real.
yeah.
I need
That's
a birth
Eddie.
certificate. I don't believe that he's Ray's son.
You know
That's
what?
Eddie.
More and more, I will do that. Oh,
He probably
Unrelated,
watched a
though.
ton of Eddie.
yeah, exactly. I kind of want to get to this afterwards, so if you guys want to do yours quickly, I do have something I want to talk about.
Bet.
But-
My best in wrestling, is Pretty Deadly. I love Pretty Deadly. They're killer, and I am so excited for whatever this Pretty Deadly the musical is that they're cooking up. I think it's gonna hit. They're giving Breezango in the best way.
Just don't fold like Brizongo, please. Dude, I rode that train till it fell off, and I was so mad. So I
Yo, when they
just
had the
can't-
whole murder mystery type shit, when they had the whole
Oh,
the
yeah,
crime
that thing
mystery,
was kind
epic.
of cool. Yeah.
So I can't let myself get into Pretty Deadly because I know I'm gonna cry when I'm upset about it.
He just
So
doesn't
I
want to get
can't-
hurt again.
I can't get hurt again. I can't do it.
Hmm.
My best in wrestling is MJF's American flag with MJF's face being the 50 stars. Wonderful. Also, the craziest face heel promo I've ever heard in my life. He went from them booing him out of the building to cheering USA, USA, to booing again, to then cheering the flag, and Stars and Stripes. So I love MJF for just making a crowd so confused. They don't know what to cheer for, and I love that for MJF.
Yeah.
Yusuf?
All right, last thing I want to talk about, because we haven't talked about this yet. The G1 is going on right now, and I'm going to make this quick. Zack Sabre Jr. is currently undefeated. Do you understand how fucking happy I am right now that Zack Sabre Jr. is undefeated? Because I need this. These motherfuckers are just, let me have my, God, I hate working for these two.
You don't work for me, you work with me. We both work for him.
We both work for him.
You
That's
both
actually a
work
good
for
point.
me.
Yeah, that's a good point. But Zack Sabre Jr. is currently undefeated through his first 4 matches in the G1. He is the odds-on favorite to win the whole tournament, which at this point I think is going to happen, except Evil's also undefeated, and I'm worried about that because I think Evil is a waste of time. Zach also does currently hold a victory
Whoa,
over.
whoa! We're not getting paid for that. Put them feet away.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, this ain't. We don't need those
VWP
toes.
unofficially sponsored by Crocs. Not really, but if you want to sponsor us, Crocs, I'll take it.
Yeah, more like feet WP, if you know what I mean. But Zach also currently holds a victory over Naito in the tournament. So in the event that Zach doesn't win the G1, which would infuriate me, he will still have a title match at some point. On the other side of the block, in B block, Konosuke Takeshita of AEW is actually tied for first place right now. He's only lost one match so far, and it's only to the guy coincidentally enough, he's tied with the guy he lost to, who is Yuya Uemura, one of the like younger guys in the company. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking Takeshita does go on a little bit of a run here in the G1, and we'll have to see. There's still another, I think like 2 weeks of the tournament to go.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back. I was expecting Takeshita to have a match with Ospreay at All In, but instead they're going with Ospreay and MJF. So yeah, now Takeshita can actually go on a tear.
Yeah, exactly.
We had this discussion. You were like, well, he can't really be an All In if he's doing the G1 and vice versa, so he has to pick one, right? So
yeah, that like I mentioned this, as I mentioned like previously at some point on the pod. The last night of the G1, the finals are exactly a week before All In. So it'd be tight scheduling to get Takeshita, assuming he makes a run all the way to the fucking G1 finals, which would be insane. And then do All In. I don't know if they'd be willing to do that. I don't know if he's willing to do that. But I think right now that Ospreay's busy, and for the most part, the title pictures in going into All In are pretty much booked. They're all pretty much done. I don't see Takeshita having a title match unless maybe they throw in like, I don't know, him versus Okada. Because apparently I forgot we should have brought this up, I guess, earlier talking about All In, but the original plan was supposed to be Okada Omega 5, which, no offense,
Pass.
yeah, we don't need it. We don't. But
Enough.
anyway, Indie Corner's done. Let's wrap.
Emil, take it away, brother.
Okay, bye.
Don't forget to follow on TikTok and YouTube and everywhere else. Appreciate you.
Now bye.